Back with us on the SportsMax Zone. We begin with cricket. World champions West Indies are in the United Arab Emirates as they continue preparations for the defence of their World T20 title from October 17 to November 14 in the UAE and Oman. Speaking at a media conference earlier on Thursday, all-rounder Roston Chase, who's yet to make his T20 international debut, said he'll be looking to play the Marlon Samuels role in the tournament.
Myself playing a similar role is the role that I played for the St. Lucia franchise for the last 2 years, where I just come in most likely after the power play and just knock it around and pick up the ones and twos and get the occasional boundary running balls in my area to score. So it's an easy role for me. I like that role, and with the power hitting guys that we have in this team, my role should be just to really give them the strike and let them do their thing. But if the ball is in my area, I would put it there.
That's Roston Chase. Now, Marlon Samuels, recall, played one of the greatest T20 innings of all time in 2012, where his 78 or 56 balls helped the Windies beat Sri Lanka in that final. Chase says Test cricket has helped him to break into the T20 squad.
Yeah, well, I'm a batting all-rounder, so I think that I would get more opportunity with the bat. Seeing that most likely if I get the opportunity to play, I'll be probably batting high in the order. So I see myself making more of an impact with the bat, but that doesn't count my bowling out. Still looking forward to giving the team every chance possible with my bowling ability. If called upon, I'll be happy to do that job as well.
Chase led all scorers in the recent Hero CPL with 446 runs at an average of 49.55 and a healthy strike rate of 144.33. So we've long said on this show that Roston Chase is a rather good cricketer all around. I've said that he is my favourite cricketer in the West Indies setup, any format, and I'm so very pleased to see that his good form has vaulted him into the World Cup squad. And now he's set to make his debut at the World Cup to help the Windies cause.
And I think that is a well-deserved pick. When he was called up to the T20 squad, I felt as if he genuinely deserved it. He's somebody that has shown throughout the years improving on his craft, even his mannerisms and the manner in which, when he comes out to bat, the way he approaches a particular inning. So for me, he gets that spot on. My only concern, and I think it's a valid concern, is that these cricketers, they genuinely step up a lot during franchise cricket. So for the CPL, we know Roston Chase was amazing for his team. He came out match after match and he did what he had to do for his team. I'm just a little afraid, and I'm not trying to put out any sort of negative vibes, so don't get me wrong. This is not me doing that at all. All I'm saying is I hope that he can translate that form that we've seen from him in the CPL and that we know that he has inside him into international cricket. That'll be the best thing.
Yeah, well, I agree with George that he's naturally a good cricketer. He's just a good cricketer, period. As far as, being the new Marlon Samuels in this setup, well, he'll have to deliver that at the T20 World Cup stage for us to answer that question. He's never had a white ball 100, Roston Chase, and he has played, I think, over 30 one-day internationals. So he hasn't, outside of the CPL performance, shown in white ball cricket up to this point that he could be the new Marlon Samuels. But Marlon was a special person, if we remember that. A lot of the performances that Marlon delivered as a West Indies player came, at crucial moments when the team needed it most in finals. He was outstanding in both finals that the West Indies won. And he was better in those finals than he had been for most of the matches in the prelims and the semis. Yeah. There was something about Marlon's appetite for the challenge of a moment that spurred him on. And I'd like to see Roston Chase deliver in that kind of way. But I like Roston Chase as a cricketer. He's naturally a good cricketer, period.
Yeah, and Lance says Marlon Samuels is a special person. And I feel as if, the personality that Marlon Samuels had, of course, it married into the cricket because he was this type of person, that once he gets to the crease, that ego, and George, you always say that confidence is everything. And sometimes you need that in sport. Or you need it all the time in sport because it's that inner, whatever it is.
Self-belief, yeah.
Yes, that drives you, Lance, to do the things that you do in those moments. And I don't know if Ruston Chase has a similar personality. I don't get that. But I do know that once he gets to the crease, whatever he does, he gets the job done. And I hope he can do it for West Indies.
All right, so that's what I was going to talk about. So you both are searching for it, and I don't know why you don't just hit the nail on the head.
Tell us, hit the nail.
It's arrogance. Marlon Samuels has an arrogance that every successful athlete in the history of sport has. Period. It's the arrogance that, for the game, that percolates into other things. And it's the arrogance that people don't like. And when you're not making runs, you're not producing, that arrogance becomes off-putting. But when you are succeeding, that arrogance is celebrated. Marlon Samuels had an arrogance that not many cricketers that we've seen of his generation when he was active had. And I don't see that arrogance in Ruston Chase. Now, does Ruston Chase have to have Marlon Samuels' arrogance to be successful in doing what Marlon Samuels did for the West Indies? You may say, well, no. And he's not Marlon Samuels. But I would suggest that to have the impact that Marlon Samuels had, you may need something than that. You may need something more than what Chase has shown us. Chase has shown us that he is a man almost without ego. He just goes about his business, holds his head down, does his cricket, plays his innings. If you throw him the ball, he does a job for you, and he goes on. In the cauldron of a World Cup situation, with a game on the line, high-stakes game, high-pressure situation, being an ordinary player won't cut it. The arrogance that Marlon Samuels had is the arrogance which Sir Viv Richards patented in his playing days. You saw him walk out chewing the gum, wielding the bat. Well, wheeling his arm with the bat and then wielding the bat in his innings, and you knew that this man wasn't normal. This man came out there to say, all right, bowlers, you've done well so far. Now it's my turn. Marlon Samuels had that. And to be able to change a game, you have to have that. You can't be a docile personality. You can't be someone who just thrives on everything else being okay around you and you're comfortable and you do that. When the bowlers are in your face, when the pressure is at its highest, you have to have someone who says, look, I am better than everybody on this field.
But George,
I am better than everybody in this game. And because I am better than you, I'm going to take up an over or two. I'm going to play myself in. Then I'm going to murder the bowling and I'm going to lift my team to victory. I'm going to be the MVP of this team. If you think Andre Russell is a superstar, if you think Chris Gayle is a superstar, if you think KP is the man, no, I am the man. That's the mentality Marlon Samuels had. That's why he was successful for us. Again, Ruston doesn't have to have that same personality, but it would help if he was like that to get the same result. But having that personality isn't the only way to that result or to that effect.
Right, and I just want to jump in there because I want to say that that's why cricket is a team sport. So in the West Indies team, there are people like that. We have confident people who are aggressive and can come in and do that. And I get the sense that Ruston Chase can remain himself and still get the job done.
No, man, but you said cricket is a team game and there are other people like that.
Right. So you spoke about, you gave a long explanation about, players having that mentality like Marlon Samuels coming in and, this...
Yeah, but aggression is different from arrogance. A lot of people in the team have aggression, but I'm talking about arrogance, which is different. And I'm saying that, yes, cricket is a team game, but when you're batting alone. And I'm saying that in the same way that for the World Cups that we've won, the big names that are there now were there then. And sometimes they hit, sometimes they missed. Marlon Samuels was the one who stood up, and Ricky Brathwaite as well, standing up in the way he did. But Samuels' arrogance, believing that he was better than Pollard and Russell and Chris Gayle at their very best, that's what vaulted him to the level that he needed to be at to be able to produce the kind of innings that helped us to win those 2 T20 World titles. So again, as I'm saying, it's not the only way to the result or to have the effect. And Chase, it's very commendable that Chase wants to have the Marlon Samuels effect. Chase is Chase. Chase is not Marlon Samuels. So clearly he won't have that. I'm just saying.
Yeah.
For the player to do that kind of thing, usually that player has the kind of arrogance that Samuels has. But now we're left to relax and hope that the Chase way can be the way we talk about going forward.
That's the point I was making. If I was Chase's advisor or somebody close to him, I would say you. Do what works for you, because it has been working in the CPL, and don't let the pressure of now thinking that you're adopting this Marlon Samuels role get to you, and then you just become this whole different person, and then we lose the Chase that we know that can come to the crease and take away the game from an opponent. So for me, if I was his advisor, and if he's listening, you stay the way you are.
Yeah, you know, you heard him say just now that based on what he will be required to do from the team management, it would be similar to what Marlon did. Because if you remember, there are a lot of innings that Marlon played that he started out slowly, a lot of dot balls, a lot of...
That's what I said, play your way in.
Yeah, and there were times that people felt that Marlon was batting too slowly until he exploded and showed everyone that he knew exactly what he was doing. And what I'm encouraged about is the side of Ruston Chase that we saw in the CPL that I don't think we had seen prior to that. So it is clear that Ruston Chase has something in him for T20 cricket that hadn't been advertised prior to this year. And that is what has propelled him into this team based on how well he played in the CPL. And I know the T20 World Cup will obviously be a higher level than the CPL, so we've got to consider that as well. But I think he has appetite for the job, and I think because he's just naturally a good cricketer, I'm hoping that he will acquit himself well to the job and succeed for the Windies.
Point being made is this. The good sign from Ruston Chase is he's embracing this role of being that finisher, that decider for us. That's the first good sign. You can't criticize him for that. And I'm not criticizing him and saying that the only way for him to be successful is to be Marlon. It's not really for you, it's for the people outside. You know people are, they'll hear you and say, oh, you're saying that. So that's just for their clarity. I know you get it. So the point is that Ruston Chase has to become cold, though. Has to become calculated. As Lance said, he went a level in the CPL that not many people before the tournament would tell you that he had in him. The question is, can his upward trajectory continue? Does the CPL represent the ceiling of his talent? Is that his own personal apogee? Or can he go further? And there's everything to suggest that a man who, which is why we started saying this, at the base of Ruston Chase, is a very good cricketer. As a very good cricketer, everything is possible.
And what I will say is, because of the high expectations coming out of the CPL, and yes, the CPL is done and will be focused on international cricket and whatnot, but because of the standards that he has set there, people will be holding him at this high level. They will be expecting the same Ruston Chase that they saw in the CPL in this T20 World Cup. And if he does not deliver or come as half as good as he was in CPL, he's going to be in some problems. And we know that.
Yeah, George, you used the word arrogance just now. And I want to ask you if you think there is any player in the current West Indies team that is arrogant while they're playing. No, that Marlon isn't there.
KP is always arrogant, especially when you can know when a player is going to make runs, you know. When Pollard comes and he middles a couple early, then the arrogance comes. Andre, when he's feeling it, Russell, it's there. So those two, for sure. Chris has been rather hit and miss for a long time now, but when Chris is seeing it big, he's the only man in the world, the universe boss. So those three.
What about Bravo?
DJ Bravo, of course.
He's so confident.
But his thing is not so much arrogance. It's another word to describe it. It's an ebullient. It's a man who says, you know what, guys. The thing is this.
Been there, done that. Yes, I know what to do.
And here's the thing again. Arrogance, you almost think of your opponents with contempt. You know, you scowl and you go about the job. I'm going to crush you. DJ Bravo is going to smile and destroy you. It's an ebullient. It's a man who says, you know what, I'm going to just put you under the shade with the size of my personality. You know, guys, look at me work. So it's a difference between arrogance and ebullience. Bravo is more ebullient than arrogant. At his best, Samuels was the gold standard. But KP and Andre, when they are in the zone, that comes out as well.
What did Marlon say the young players called him? The batting manual.
Yeah.
The batting manual.
There you go. I am a batting manual.
There you go.
Yeah. All right, we take a break. SportsMax Zone back with more after these.